Animal life cycle. Learning objectives. Our learning objectives today are understanding the animal life cycle, understanding the life cycle of animals that reproduce using eggs such as chickens and frogs, understanding the life cycle of animals that reproduce by giving birth such as cats and dogs, learning the difference between the life cycle of animals that reproduce using eggs and animals that reproduce by giving birth, and finally, learning the names of some of the animal offspring. Hello, my friends! Today we will learn about the life cycle of various animals. Are you ready? Great, let's begin. Look at this chicken. Have you ever wondered, how does a chicken grow, and what are the stages they go through? Chickens, my friends, are living organisms that reproduce using eggs. And it goes through a few stages before becoming a chicken. It begins as a small egg, and after a while, a small chick emerges from the egg. Then this chick begins to grow, so it gets bigger. It will continue to get bigger until it becomes a chicken. And these stages that a chicken goes through in order to grow are called the life cycle of a chicken. So we can say the life cycle of an animal is the stages that an animal goes through to grow. And the frog, my friends, is from the living organisms that reproduce using eggs. Let us see its life cycle. The frog begins its life cycle as a small egg. Then, after a while, a small tadpole emerges from the egg. It then begins to grow. It grows and gets bigger until it becomes a small frog. It continues to grow until it gets even bigger and becomes a big frog. Did you notice, my friends, that the life cycles for chickens and frogs are similar? They are both living organisms that reproduce using eggs. However, the living organisms that reproduce by giving birth have a different life cycle. For example, this cat is one of the living organisms that reproduces by giving birth. Let us learn about the stages a cat goes through to grow. It begins its life cycle as a small newborn kitten. Then it begins to grow and get bigger. It continues to grow until it becomes a mature adult cat. And likewise the dog. It is also one of the living organisms that reproduce by giving birth. And it goes through a few stages. It begins as a small newborn pup. Then it grows and gets bigger. It continues to grow until it becomes an adult dog. Notice that the life cycles of cats and dogs are similar. They are both living organisms that reproduce by giving birth, and they begin as small newborn animals. But did you notice the difference in the life cycles of these animals? The animals that reproduce using eggs begin their life cycle as an egg. But the animals that reproduce by giving birth begin their life cycle as a small newborn animal. And we also notice that the offspring of living organisms have special names. The chicken's offspring is called a chick, but the frog's offspring is called a tadpole. And the offspring of the cat is called a kitten. And the dog's offspring, my friend, is called a pup. Great job! There are many more names for the offspring of animals. Let us learn about some of them together. The lion's offspring is called a cub. And the offspring of a sheep is called a lamb. And a horse's offspring is called a foal. And finally, the cow's offspring is called a calf. Great job! And now, my friends, we have learned a lot together. We learned the meaning of an animal's lifestyle and the life cycle of animals that reproduce using eggs, such as chickens and frogs. We also learned the life cycle of animals that reproduce by giving birth, such as cats and dogs, and also the difference between the life cycles of animals that reproduce using eggs and animals that reproduce giving birth. And we also learned the names of some of the offspring of animals.